I'm sure I'm not alone in being somebody who gets an adult diagnosis of autism and then spends the next forever playing a game of, is it because I'm autistic? The thing that's triggered me to question that most recently is a walk to the woods I did with my husband and son, because I love walking in the woods. Um, and a week before, or a few weeks ago, I went to the beach. And as I always do when I go to the beach, I have my eyes out for pretty, pretty shells. And the past few times I've been to the beach, I've worked really hard to hide that magpie aspect of me. Probably partly because my little boy has been far less interested in the stones and shells than I've been, and it's made me wonder if the fact that I always want to collect stones and shells is weird. Partly also because the code is that you don't take things away with you. You should leave them for other people. And normally I do, but this occasion was my birthday, and I felt like letting myself have a few very pretty shells as a birthday present to myself. And look, I even managed to find one that's still joined together. I was really pleased with that. There are also a lot more shells in beautiful condition than normal, so I don't know if all of the lockdowns and everything means we've had fewer beach visitors, which means fewer people taking souvenirs. That seems quite likely. I live near a lovely set of beaches, and the nearest one to me all my life has been jam-packed with people, and in the past few years has been notably quiet. Anyway, so I let myself take a few because there were so many. Oh, I think that one's my favourite. We've been using them to make salt dough decorations, so just getting a ball of salt dough a little bit flat and then pressing them in. That's been quite good fun. But I do this quite a lot. Yeah, that one unfortunately doesn't make very good salt dough decorations, but it's quite a nice shell in the flesh. That one is quite nice too. Anyway, so we then went to the woods yesterday and I found some stones. And this was the first one, and to me it looks a little bit of fossilised bone maybe, or a piece that's been deliberately marked with these fancy patterns on the side, and I'm 99% sure actually what's happened there is it's just a bit of stone that a dog's been at, but I can tell myself stories with it, which makes me feel good. And as a kid, we always taught that a stone with a hole all the way through, I don't know, yeah, that lets you see fairies, to look through one like that. So when I found that in the stream, I really wanted to keep it. And this one looks like a little bowl, but again, you see it's got the hole the whole way through, which it just felt a bit special to me. So it got me thinking, especially this one with the markings. My dad has always collected stones, especially if he felt like they had runes on them. He's atheist, but he's always found runes quite an interesting concept. Not necessarily from a belief point of view, but from the idea of giving your tarot cards the same, fortune telling in that manner, as a way of giving your mind another path to follow to try and work out a solution to a problem. So I think that's why the runes have always, when he's found something in the natural world that's made him think of a rune, that's why he's tended to collect them. And maybe it's as simple as because my dad's always done it is why I've always done it. But on my mum's side of the family, which is the side with distinct notable traits, there's I'm just distracted because I've just spotted in the corner of the room another stone with a little hole through it, and I couldn't even tell you where that came from or how long I've had that. It's literally just sitting in the corner of the room. Put that back. Yeah, so my granny has got a huge bowl of seashells that she's collected over the years. My dad's got, or had, I think my stepmom eventually convinced him to get rid of them, a couple of bowls of stones. And like I said, especially ones with Rooney patterns on them. And it's just got me wondering, because whilst my dad's side of the family isn't as distinctly traity, I do see some things in my dad that make me curious how he would score if I were to give him one of the rads or something. Yeah, so if any of you are autistic and tend to collect natural features like stones and shells and feathers, I had to be really drilled out of collecting feathers as a kid. An aunt of mine spent a lot of time telling me about it was unhygienic and I'd catch things, and I still collect feathers if I'm not paying attention, but if I notice that's what I've got a handful of, I put them down because I suddenly hear her voice. So is it something that you do if you're on the spectrum, or maybe it's an ADHD thing as well, or is it something you do and you're not? As well as collecting the tactile physical things, I also need to touch everything. I like to have bare feet so I can really stretch my toes into the sand, which I'm pretty sure is a sensory thing. And I like to touch all of the trees I pass and like give them a little moment of my time. Touch the bark, especially if it's got an interesting pattern on them, and plant leaves and things. That all feels pretty sensory, but I'm not sure if the collecting is a learned behaviour or connected with this bit of my brain. And I'm kind of curious if it's something anyone else knows anything about. Well, till next time then.